Today in our 2017 Chevrolet Colorado, you're going to be taking a look at, I'm going to show you how to install the CURT Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13203. This is what our hitch looks like when it's installed. As you can see, it's pretty much flush with the edge of our bumper fascia, so it fits nicely with the vehicle. You're not going to see a lot of the cross tube once the vehicle is on the ground. One thing you're going to see is a receiver tube and a little bit of this front bracket here and our safety chain loops. I really like the safety chain loops the way they are because it's not going to interfere with different size hooks that you have. It won't interfere with your hitch pin. This is going to be a Class 3 hitch. It's going to be 2" by 2". Hitch pin hole is going to be 5/8" in diameter. It's going to have really nice safety chain loops. You can see it's got plenty of room. These safety chain loops are going to be a little bit different plate style. Most of your plate style hitches are going to be plate style that run across the bottom of your receiver tube, where these go up and down. The good thing about this is when you have larger safety chain hooks, the hitch pin, or if you have a locking device or anti-rattle device that may go in here, sometimes it sticks out and it's pretty thick. Different size safety chain hooks are not going to interfere with that. Or that's not going to interfere with your safety chain hooks. Unlike some of the other hitches, the plate style comes right up on the bottom of your receiver tube, and you can't use, or you're limited to certain size safety chain hooks if you have that anti-rattle device in there. This hitch is going to have a black powder coat finish. It's going to resist any rust or corrosion. As far as weight capacities go, you're going to have a 900-pound max tongue weight, which is a downward pressure on the inside of the receiver tube, and a 6,000-pound max trailer weight, which is the trailer plus the load included. I always recommend checking the owner's manual of your Colorado to make sure the vehicle can withstand that amount of weight. You can pick the lowest number between the vehicle and the hitch. Now, this hitch is weighted for weight distribution. Tongue weight's going to stay the same. However, your trailer weight's going to go up to 8,000 pounds. As far as the installation goes, it's pretty straightforward installation. I do recommend having an extra set of hands and a couple of jack stands because you will have to loosen the bumper, but you want to make sure that the bumper stays up against the vehicle once you loosen it, because you're going to maintain, you use the same holes and you're going to use the same hardware that you take out. Now let's give you a few measurements to help you when deciding on any hitch mount accessories you may need, such as a bike rack, ball mount, or cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost part of the bumper, be about 2 1/4 inches. From the ground to the top innermost part of the receiver tube, be about 19 1/4 inches. Now let's show you how to get this installed. Now before we actually start our installation, what we need to do, lower our spare tire. We're going to get some jack stands. We're using these stands so we have the vehicle up in there. It makes it a little bit easier for you to see. If you're doing it on the ground, just take some jack stands. You want to support each corner of your bumper. So we'll put one on each corner. And then what we want to do is come inside. This bar that runs right across the back of our bumper, we're actually going to be replacing it with the hitch. So the reason we need to support the bumper is because the bolts that hold this in also hold our bumper in. You come right over here, you want to take a strap, hook it to this back side of the bumper, and run it up. You can run it up towards the front of the vehicle and strap it in to where you're pulling the bumper towards the front of the vehicle. You want to hold it up tight against the vehicle. You want to do this on both sides. Next thing we need to do, with a 13mm socket, we have our spare tire support beam here. We're going to loosen these 2 bolts, and we're going to remove the 2 that are connected to this cross brace, or our bumper beam. Just like that. We're going to, on each side of our vehicle, we're going to have 2 bolts on the bottom of this, the bumper bracket or bumper support beam here. Then we're going to have 2 on the outside of the frame rail. We're going to use a 21mm socket to remove them. Now I've left 1 bolt in loosely on each side. Right here we have a wiring harness that's on our bumper support beam. Take a plastic trim panel tool. You can use a flathead screwdriver too. We're going to pop that off. Just like that. Now with an extra set of hands, we're going to remove our bumper support beam. Our hitch is only going to be utilizing the 2 holes on the bottom of our frame rail and the 2 in the center for our spare tire holder. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our existing hardware that we removed and we're going to put it on the outside of our frame rail to help hold our bumper in place. Before we put our hitch into place, on our old bumper support beam, we're going to have 2 brackets. We need to remove those. You take a flathead screwdriver and they should pop right off. We're going to be putting these onto our new hitch. And we're going to take the clips that we just removed. We're going to put them on these 2 holes in our hitch. This bracket is going to be just above our receiver tube and right behind our cross beam. Once you have your 2 bolts on each side of your frame rail holding your bumper back in place, go ahead and tighten those, and then you can remove your jack stands. For the next set of hands, we're going to lift our hitch into place. We're going to put 1 bolt from our existing hardware that we removed, 1 on each side to hold our hitch in place while we put the remaining hardware in. I'm going to go ahead and put these bolts back in place for my spare tire holder. Once you have all your hardware installed, go ahead and tighten everything down. Then we're going to torque it to the specifications, including the 2 bolts up on the sides of our frame rails. Once we have all our hardware in place, torque to the specifications in the instructions, we can remove our safety straps, reinstall our spare tire, and we're ready to go. That'll do it for a look at and installation on the CURT Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13203 on our 2017 Chevrolet Colorado.